Are you thinking about buying a house in Ontario, Canada in 2025? But you're wondering, like, how much money do I really need to buy this house? I will be breaking it down in this video from your down payment to your closing costs to all the other monies that you will need. I will give you a basic idea of the minimum amount of money that you need to have saved up to buy your first house here in Ontario, Canada. Let's dive right into it. Hey, if you're new to me here, my name is Yashika Turner and I'm your Hamilton homegirl. I'm a realtor here in Hamilton, Ontario. And on this channel, I help first-time home buyers and newcomers settle, navigate, and thrive in Canada. So if that sounds like something that you'll be interested in, especially when it comes on to simple real estate terms, breaking it down so you can understand it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here. Now, let's look into how much money you really need to have saved up to buy your first house here in Canada. First things first, let's talk about the down payment basics. And the down payment here in Canada goes in 3 different tiers. And I'll be breaking it down as simple as possible so you can understand it. Now, as a first-time home buyer, you pay a minimum of 5% down payment from any house price under 500,000. So for a 500,000 for a house like for 499, you're looking at like 25,000 down payment, just the down payment only. We're not talking about closing costs and all the other monies. We're talking about the down payment basics, right? Now the second tier is 10%. Anything above 500,000 and below 1.5 million dollars, then you will have to find 10% of that amount of money. So say for example, the house is listed for $700,000. Now your 5% is going to be the anything under the 500,000. So the 500,000, you'll need 25,000, and for that 200,000 remaining, you will need 20,000. So the total down payment for a house that is listed for 700,000, you will need a down payment of a minimum of $45,000. Got it? Let me know in the comments. And then the next tier is 20%. Anything that is listed for over $1 million, you will have to come up with 20% of that listed price for that house. Got it? So let me do it again slowly. The down payment is done in a tier system here in Ontario, Canada. You'll need 5% for anything under 500,000, and between that 500,000 to 1.5 million dollars, then the additional money, then you will need 10% of that additional cost. So if the house is listed for over $500,000 and under $1.5 million, you're going to take that 10% of that amount and you're going to add it to the 5% of the $500,000. Is that simple? If you don't understand it, let me know in the comments and I will do a video specially for you, breaking it down even further. Now that we have the down payment basics out of the way, now let's look at your closing costs. And the closing cost is different from your down payment. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it mixed up. Don't get it confused. You'll need money for your down payment because when you go to your lender, your mortgage agent, or your big banks, they're not going to give you the full 100% of the house price. If the house is listed at $700,000, they won't be giving you that full $700,000. They're expecting you to come up with a percentage amount to say, yes, you have this money saved up and you're ready to step forward into home ownership, right? So the closing cost is usually 3 to 5% of the listing price. Now, this varies. This is not a fixed amount. It is an estimate amount. And I've done a video on a full breakdown so you can even understand the closing cost better. I will leave that video up in the description here so you can go check it out after watching this video? Let me know. Got it in the comments if you are still here, understanding how far we've gone, right? So just a little basics on the closing costs. There are several fees that you're expected to pay within the closing costs. So they all add up. So when you put an offer in the house, right, and you pay your deposit, now the deposit is a percentage of, is a part of the down payment, right? So you're working with a realtor and you put an offer in and you have some conditions, say conditions for inspection or financing, and you put a deposit in. Now the deposit is to show that you're really serious into purchasing this house, into you're really serious into this agreement that you're purchasing this house, right? So the closing costs, you will expect to pay your land transfer tax, your lawyer's fee. Who doesn't need a lawyer with this huge transaction, right? So much money being handled within this transaction. So your land transfer tax, your lawyer fee, your appraisal, your title insurance, and all those things goes into the closing costs. This closing cost money, you will need to have it on the day of closing when everything is being finalized. You have to make sure that you have that money in your account, right? So don't be alarmed and don't be surprised when you go to the lawyer and you have all the documents to sign and the lawyer says, where is the closing cost? Do you have the closing cost right there? Let me see the evidence and all that, right? So you have to make sure you save up between anywhere from 3 to 5% of the purchasing price of the house for your closing costs. Now, let's look at some extra costs people often forget during the home buying process. And these are different price, but each thing adds up, right? Now, if you're going to have a condition for inspection of the house, so say you went, you view the house, you like the house, and you want to put an offer on the house, but you want to make sure that there is nothing that's wrong with the house that's not visible to you or your realtor. Say something wrong with the roof or the furnace or the AC, or there's plumbing or electrical or some underlying issues, right? You want to hire a professional to go and look through the house using their professional knowledge, experience, and insights to give you a full breakdown and a full report of what they saw faulty or some problems that they have seen within the house, right? So that's an inspection, and that's a money that you would have to come up with out of your pocket, and that's usually between anywhere from maybe $300 to $500. So that's your inspection fee. Next is your property tax adjustment. So say, for example, you are purchasing the house and the homeowner had paid up the property tax for the full year. You are now moving in the house in, say, November. You will have to reimburse that amount for November, December to the seller because they've already paid up that amount for the year, right? Or say specifically you're moving in earlier throughout the year. Say you're moving in February, next March, and they paid up for the year. Then you'll have like 9 months worth of property tax to pay back because the seller had already invested and paid up for the year. So that's another expense. Utilities, right? You have to consider that. You'll have to consider your home insurance for yourself. Now, this is usually monthly, just like how you would pay your car insurance. Then now, as a homeowner, first-time home buyer, you will have to consider having that money to pay for your home insurance. Now, this also varies. I encourage you to shop around, and maybe if you already have a vehicle insurance company that you're using, maybe see if they will give you a bundle deal. Sometimes they do that. To get the insurance cheaper. Another expense that you will have to consider is moving expense. Especially if you're moving from one big city to the next or one province to the next, then you'll have to consider renting a U-Haul truck. If family and friends are going to help you, you might have to consider running a boat, cooking some food, or giving them some gas money or something. So those are some little monies that will add up that you need to have saved up. And don't forget your emergency funds. Anything can happen as a first-time home owner moving in the first couple months. You'd have to change your locks. If something happens, so the washer breakdown, the fridge breakdown, the stove, say so anything can happen. Always have an emergency fund saved up for emergencies as a first-time homeowner. Now, let's look at some real numbers breakdown so that you can understand this down payment thing really good, because me know so you might not get it so good, some more you get it. Now, let's say, for example, you're purchasing a starter home that's listed for $600,000, and you can get that in Hamilton, of course. So if you're looking to relocate and move to Hamilton, send me a DM, send me a message over Instagram, or even send me an email. My email is listed right here somewhere in the description, right? For us to connect, because I know you might not be able to get a good starter home in the GTA, but I'm sure you can get one in Hamilton. So let's break down your starter home price of $600,000. Now, as I mentioned before, the first $500,000, that will be $25,000 down payment, $25,000, and that extra $100,000, then that's $10,000 down payment. So that $25,000 and that $10,000 will equal to $35,000, and that's just the down payment. Now, as I said, you'll need about 3 to 5% for your closing costs and your moving expenses. So for a starter home and to start out as a first-time home buyer, I think you need to average a minimum of $50,000. That should be able to cover your down payment, your closing costs, and your moving expenses. So consider having a minimum of $50,000 saved up for a starter home. Now, let's look at house a little more bougie. Say maybe you're planning, you already have a house, you already have a starter home, and you're planning on purchasing something else, right? Or you want a little higher end house in a better neighborhood. You have multiple kids and you want like a 4-bedroom house, 3-bedroom house, then you need to step it up a little higher, and you have a higher income coming in, and you have a budget of or a pre-approved for $800,000. Let's look at how much your down payment would be. Now, come along with me now. Comment below. Let me see if you really get it. How much you will need for the first $500,000 of this $800,000 house. Let me know in the comments. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. Let me see who will get it. Yes, $25,000. So for that first $500,000, you have your $25,000, and then for the remaining $300,000, you'll need $30,000. So $25,000 and $30,000, you will need $55,000 for your down payment. And now your closing costs and your moving expenses, that will take you to an approximate $75,000 to $85,000 upfront for a house that's listed for $800,000. And can I tell you that in Hamilton, you can get a decent detached house with backyard, with more space, and with a rental potential, additional income potential in the basement. You can rent for $800,000. I know you might not be lucky enough to get that in the GTA, but I can tell you that you can get that in Hamilton. And that's a good way of bringing in an additional income stream as a first-time home buyer, right? Because you are renting out your basement, you're living up top, or if you choose, you can even live in the basement and you rent out the top of the house, right? That's more money coming in, and you can save up. In this economy, who doesn't need an extra stream of income? Let me know, extra stream of income, in the comments if that's something you are interested in. Now, for a house that is listed for over $1 million, you will need at least over $200,000 saved up. Yes, you'll need the money for your down payment, your closing costs, and your moving expenses. So if you're bougie and if you have some money sitting in the bank, or if your families can help you, or even if you're selling your first starter home and you're looking to buy a second home, then this is the amount you'll need, because you'll be paying more, which is you'll be paying 20% for your down payment. Right? So with that said, to buy a house in Ontario, Canada in 2025, I would say you need at least $50,000 saved up. That will give you enough cushion and enough room. And remember now, purchasing a house, it does not only include your down payment, but you'll need your closing costs, your moving expenses, other additional expenses to save up to purchase your first home in Canada. Now, I've created a first-time home buyer kit guide just for you to break down even further to make you get it real good. Now, I will leave that in the description for you so you can go ahead and get your free copy. Now, if you're interested in relocating to Hamilton, remember I said I'm your Hamilton home girl and I'm here for you as a first-time home buyer. Reach out to me and let's get this started. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Walk good